So yes, I am not at my orange wall, and for those of you who noticed that, I say, very astute indeed. Now, I will challenge you to see how many differences you can find between this backdrop and my usual one. I'll give you a hint. There's more than a million. So actually, right now, I'm at the top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. And apparently in Tennessee, it is a ritual to get up at the crack of dawn and use a backhoe for some sort of construction work across the lake. So that's what you're hearing right now. Alright, let's get started. Point number 1. I have a little bit of a confession to make. Let's see, how do I say this? When I first started reading this book, however many years ago it was that I read it for the first time, the word air, H-E-I-R, I definitely thought was hair. As in hair, I thought it was the British spelling of hair. To a 10-year-old, I guess that made a minuscule amount of sense. What didn't make sense was I couldn't figure out for the life of me why they were all looking for Slytherin's hair and how Slytherin's hair could possibly open the Chamber of Secrets and unleash some monster. Anyway, that's just me and my supreme intelligence. Point number 2. In these chapters, it's the first time that we get to see Harry dive into someone else's memory with the diary. Now, this comes back throughout the rest of the series in different capacities. I won't say more here just because I guess it would give away the story just a little bit, but I find it interesting that it starts here, and I don't know. I can't say anything else, because I'll give something away. So, yeah, that's that. My third point also has to do with this going back in time bit. Dumbledore. How old exactly is he? If 50 years ago he's still recognizable as Dumbledore, he must be pretty old. Now, I feel like it said somewhere in the books, somewhere along the way, how old he was, but I can't figure out what it was, or I guess where it was. So, if any of the rest of you know how old Dumbledore is, tell me, please. And along those same lines, in another sort of way, 50 years ago, Hagrid was a third year. That makes Hagrid now 53 or 54 years old, and that kind of shocked me. I didn't realize that until this read-through, because Hagrid just seems like such a young soul. He doesn't seem 54. Point number 4 is still on Hagrid. Why in the world would you think that it would be a good idea to send two 12-year-old boys into the middle of a forest and straight into the 8 hairy arms of a giant Spider King and his many families that want to eat them? Why? That's not even logical. There's nothing about that that makes sense. Hagrid's like, oh, yes, boys, go visit the Spider King. Maybe he will let you out alive. He hasn't any other time, but haha, maybe there's a first for everything. No. My 5th and final point this week is talking about Cornelius Fudge, the Minister for Magic. And specifically about that, what would it be like to be the Minister of Magic? You have all of these responsibilities. You are in charge of this entire population that nobody else in the world knows about, and it has to stay secret. You have to constantly send out task force to be like, nope, erase your memory, you can't know that, erase your memory, you can't know that. It would be the most stressful job in the entire world, let me tell you. And I know Karina's gonna make faces at me because she hates Cornelius Fudge, but I have to give him props for doing this job. It's not an easy one, and not for the faint of heart. Well, that's all I have to say for today, because Mr. Noisy over there is driving me crazy. So, enjoy your last looks of the beautiful mountains of Tennessee, because next week you will be back to my boring old orange wall. I will see you all next Thursday.